Right, so let's get to major changes for the Men's Football World Cup.
Football is about to have an identity crisis because the biggest World Cup in history may not look like the game we've known for generations.
There's going to be big changes in match officiating at the Summer's World Cup. The International Football Association Board has announced a raft of rule changes for the tournament.
In 2026, FIFA isn't just expanding the tournament from 32 teams to 48 or stretching it to a record 104 matches across 3 countries. They're introducing rules that could turn delayed goal kicks into corner kicks, leave teams playing a man down after substitutions, force injured players off the pitch for a full minute, expand VAR deeper into matches than ever before, and even bring a Super Bowl-style half-time show to the World Cup final. Supporters say these changes will make football faster, fairer, and more entertaining. Critics believe they could fundamentally change the rhythm, culture, and soul of the sport itself. So, are we about to witness the most exciting World Cup ever created, or the tournament that changed football forever? From the controversial new countdown timers and red card offences to the expanded VAR powers that could decide the biggest matches on Earth, these are the 10 shocking World Cup 2026 rules that could break the game forever. For the first time in World Cup history, the 2026 final has an official half-time show. Not before the game, not after the trophy gift, right in the middle of the most important football match on Earth. July 19, New York, New Jersey Stadium. FIFA and Global Citizen bringing Madonna, Shakira, and BTS into the World Cup final. And here's why that's a bigger deal than it sounds. A World Cup final halftime isn't empty space. It's where managers adjust pressing traps, warn fullbacks about overloads, patch up injured players, and reset the emotional direction of the match. That 15-minute window has decided finals. In 2026, it competes with a global concert. Supporters will call it progress, football matching the scale of the modern sports industry, the biggest World Cup ever staged across 3 countries, deserving a cultural moment to match. They're not entirely wrong. But once the World Cup final starts borrowing from the Super Bowl model, the question becomes uncomfortable. Is football protecting the rhythm of the game or slowly reshaping itself around television, sponsors, and spectacle? The halftime show is just the surface though. The real transformation is the tournament itself. The expansion from 32 to 48 teams means 12 groups of 4, with the top 2 from each group plus the 8 best third-place teams advancing into a new round of 32. More nations, more debutants, more stories from countries like Cape Verde, Curacao, Jordan, and Uzbekistan that the old format kept outside the conversation. For smaller football nations, this is genuinely historic. But football never gives you more without taking something back. 104 matches means more travel, more recovery problems, more fatigue becoming part of the result. Teams aren't just managing opponents anymore, they're managing time zones, climates, squad depth, and the emotional weight of a tournament stretched across an entire continent. Teams reaching the final now navigate an extra knockout round compared to every previous edition. The group stage psychology changes too. In the old format, one bad result put a favourite under immediate pressure. With 8 third-place teams still advancing, some groups may lose their ruthlessness. The World Cup gains volume. Whether it keeps its tension is the real question. FIFA has made the tournament more inclusive, more profitable, and more dramatic in scale. They've also made it something football has genuinely never experienced before. Whether that's progress or just expansion dressed up as progress, that's the conversation 2026 is going to force.
Now, here's a rule change that's quietly one of the most player-friendly decisions FIFA has made in years. Single yellow cards reset twice in 2026, after the group stage and again after the quarter-finals. Carry one booking into the knockouts and you start clean. Survive to the semis with one yellow and it disappears again. Michael Ballack scored the goal that sent Germany to the 2002 final, then watched it from the stands because of a semi-final booking. That kind of cruelty has shaped World Cups for decades. FIFA is finally addressing it, and in a 48-team tournament with a longer route to the final, the timing is perfect. Without this reset, players could arrive at semi-finals suspended for cheap bookings from group stage dead rubbers. There's a tactical edge to it as well. When players' no cards reset, the psychological calculation changes. Fullbacks defend wingers harder, defensive midfielders stop transitions more aggressively, centre-backs take more calculated risks when a striker turns into space. FIFA is protecting the spectacle, but they're also giving players more room to play on the edge. For once, a controversial rule that might actually improve the tournament rather than interrupt it.
Alongside that, every 2026 match has mandatory 3-minute hydration breaks around the 22nd minute of each half. Every game, every stadium, regardless of conditions. The geography makes it necessary. Humidity in one city, dry heat in another, altitude in Mexico City, time zone changes between fixtures. The old system waited for temperatures to cross a threshold. For a tournament this spread out, that wasn't enough. But here's the part that turns a welfare rule into a tactical conversation. A hydration break isn't just a water break, it's a mini reset. It splits each half into 2 phases, roughly 22 minutes before the break, then the remainder after. A team that's being pressed into submission for the first 20 minutes, losing second balls and defending too deep, would normally have to survive until half-time. In 2026, their manager gets a structured pause before the half is even halfway done. Pressing angles can be corrected, defensive lines can be adjusted, a team losing control can be calmed without burning a substitution. That helps teams under pressure. It also potentially disrupts teams that start fast, press high and build momentum through the early minutes, because the break arrives right in that window where suffocation usually takes hold. The World Cup is entering the climate era. In 2026, even the heat has a place on the tactics board. Building on those changes, FIFA is also closing one of football's quietest tactical loopholes. For years, goalkeeper injuries gave managers something football isn't supposed to have, an unofficial timeout. Goalkeeper goes down, physios walk on, outfield players drift toward the touchline, and suddenly a coach gets 40 seconds to reorganize the press, fix set-piece marking, or calm a team that's losing control. In 2026, that's over. During goalkeeper treatment, players cannot approach the technical area for instructions. They stay on the pitch, away from the bench, while the referee manages it actively. Kalina explained the logic simply. The goalkeeper has the right to be injured, but his teammates don't have the right to turn it into a team talk. This will frustrate managers, not because they want fake injuries in the game, but because stoppages have always been part of football's informal communication system. FIFA is now drawing a clear line between natural instruction and tactical manipulation. Teams will have to solve problems in real time instead of waiting for the keeper to sit down and create a reset.
Then there's the rule nobody saw coming. At the 2026 World Cup, covering your mouth during a confrontation with an opponent can get you sent off. IFAB approved the measure after FIFA pushed for stronger sanctions against discriminatory abuse hidden from cameras and microphones. The concern is real. Modern football is filmed from every angle, but players have learned to protect their words. Covering the mouth during heated moments has become almost automatic, and FIFA's worry is that it shields insults and discriminatory language that becomes almost impossible to prove afterwards. The intention is serious and hard to argue against. The application is where it gets complicated. A bad tackle can be replayed frame by frame. A hand over the mouth asks a referee to judge context, body language and intent in real time. Was that player hiding abuse, passing a private tactical message, or just reacting naturally in the middle of a World Cup knockout game? That uncertainty is where the controversy lives, and in a tournament this size, one misread gesture under one referee's interpretation could mean a red card, a reshuffled midfield, a team suddenly playing survival football for 70 minutes.
In 2026, what a player says might matter less than whether the cameras can see him say it. FIFA is also drawing a hard line around match authority in a way that changes how captains and coaches manage crisis moments. Players who leave the pitch to protest a referee's decision can be shown a red card in 2026. Team officials who encourage a walk-off face the same punishment, and if a team causes the match to be abandoned entirely, they can forfeit the result. Walk-offs are rare but seismic when they happen, usually born from extreme emotion, a penalty decision that feels impossible to accept, a refereeing controversy that's spiraled. Supporters will say FIFA is protecting the game. Critics will say FIFA is removing one of the last tools players have when they feel the system has failed them. But the tactical reality is blunt. A red card for leaving the pitch doesn't just punish anger, it destroys structure. Lose a centre-back and the defensive line collapses. Lose a holding midfielder and the back four loses its shield. If the protest becomes collective, the punishment can move from individual discipline to the actual result. One emotional reaction to a controversial call could turn a tight knockout match into a survival mission, or worse, a forfeited game. FIFA's message is unambiguous: argue all you want, but abandon the match and you might lose it completely. That same obsession with control extends to something far more routine. From 2026, if medical staff enter the pitch to treat an outfield player, that player must leave the field and stay off for 1 full minute after play restarts. The intention is straightforward: stop fake injuries, stop rhythm-killing delays, stop teams using treatment as a tactical weapon. The impact, though, can be brutal. Football injuries don't happen in convenient moments. A defender goes down after clearing a corner, a midfielder takes a knock blocking a shot. Once the medical team enters, that player is off and his team defends the restart 1 man short. A centre-back forced off before a corner means 1 fewer aerial presence. A holding midfielder off before a dangerous free kick means an exposed space in front of the box. A fullback receiving treatment while his side is being attacked means the entire defensive shape has to shift and survive. There are exceptions: head injuries, serious injuries, goalkeeper incidents, collisions between teammates, and injuries caused by bookable fouls, but outside those, the rule applies. Football absolutely needs to punish simulation. Too many matches have been slowed down by players staying down, killing momentum and using treatment as a tactical pause. But referees can't always separate genuine pain from gamesmanship in real time. A player can be truly hurt and still cost his team the next minute of the match. That 1 minute sounds small until it arrives in the 88th with a lead to protect, a corner to defend, and your best header of the ball standing beside the 4th official waiting to return. For the first time, getting treatment could cost your team a goal. Following on from the injured player rule, FIFA is attacking time wasting from another angle entirely, and this one has a consequence nobody saw coming. Referees at the 2026 World Cup can start a visible 5-second countdown when a throw-in or goal kick is taking too long. Delay a throw-in past the countdown and possession goes to the opponent. Delay a goal kick and the opposition gets a corner. Not a free kick, not a warning, a corner. That's the one that changes the game. Goalkeepers and centre-backs have always used goal kicks as quiet reset buttons. Slow the press down, let the back line split, let the 6 drop, pull the opponent's front line into position before choosing the pass. That pause is built into modern build-up football. In 2026, it comes with a clock. Waste 5 seconds in the 86th minute protecting a 1-goal lead, and you might hand the opposition one of the most dangerous set-piece situations in the sport. The referee's judgment becomes critical here too. The countdown doesn't start automatically, it starts when the referee decides delay is deliberate. That means crowd noise, pressure and interpretation enter the equation. High-stakes moments, close scorelines, exhausted goalkeepers. This rule will be tested in exactly those situations. Time wasting is being killed, but the punishment for it is now severe enough to decide decide matches. Which brings us to VAR, because once that corner is given, VAR now has more power over what happens next than ever before. Expanded VAR powers at 2026 mean referees can now review clearly incorrect second yellow cards that lead to red cards, correct mistaken identity if the wrong player is booked or sent off, and, most significantly, check incorrectly awarded corners before the restart if the mistake can be corrected immediately. That last one is massive. Corners decide matches. Under the old protocol, a wrongly awarded corner that led to a goal usually stood. The original decision was outside VAR's reach. In 2026, that changes. If the corner was clearly wrong and correction is immediate, VAR steps in before the damage happens. FIFA is also targeting the dark arts before set pieces, blocking runs, grappling, holding, screening defenders before the ball is even delivered. If a team scores after an illegal block or hold in the build-up to a corner, the goal can be ruled out. This matters because top teams now design corners like open play patterns, near post runners, blockers, delayed runs, second ball positions, goalkeeper crowding. The modern corner is choreographed. FIFA is now watching the choreography. The second yellow change closes a genuine gap that always felt odd. A direct red card could be reviewed, but a second yellow with the exact same match-changing effect often couldn't. That inconsistency is gone in 2026. Put it all together, and the real story of these rule changes becomes clear. The 5-second timer gives referees more control over time. Expanded VAR gives technology more control over decisions. Together, they attack two of football's oldest grey areas: delay and controversy. The game may become fairer, it may become faster, but it may also become more interrupted, more managed, and less instinctive. The biggest change at the 2026 World Cup isn't one rule. It's the growing power of the screen, the stopwatch, and the officials over the rhythm of football itself. For the first time, the biggest story at a World Cup might not be a team, a player, or even the trophy. It might be the game itself. Because when the final whistle goes in New Jersey and a nation lifts that trophy, the real question won't just be who won, it'll be whether the game we watched was still the same one we grew up with.